NBC News understands that officials are under increasing pressure to boost the number of arrests and deportations.
Right, according to three sources familiar with discussions at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and at the White House, President Trump is said to be angry that more people aren't being deported.
NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley joins us now with more of her, as per usual, exclusive reporting. Julia, good morning. Thanks very much for being with us. So tell us a little bit more about what you're hearing from your sources about the president's reaction to the number of deportations that we have seen so far.
Yeah, this is something I've been hearing, and so is Christian Walker as well, who, of course, covers the White House. We are understanding that Trump has been known to be angry, and inside that anger is being passed down into DHS and then to his border czar, Tom Homan, who, as we understand, has been unhappy and making his unhappiness unknown on calls he has with ICE. Basically, they want these arrest and deportation numbers to be higher. When it comes to that data, we're not seeing as much as we used to. If you can remember, in the first 10 days of the administration, they would post these daily numbers that we saw a lot of footage about ride-alongs. Now a lot of that has gone away. Homan blaming a lot of that on media leaks, that they're not able to share as much anymore. But in short, we understand that the over 1,000 a day that we used to see has dropped. And last week, about their highest day was just over 800. Just for context, to make good on Trump's inaugural promise of millions of deportations, in order to get 1 million people deported in a year, they would have to be arresting and deporting over 2,800 a day. They're not near that number, even with all the help of ATF, FBI, and DEA that we've seen. So this anger could be passed down now to ICE, as we understand, and we'll see what happens from there. We know they're starting to send more people to Guantanamo Bay, and they want to make more arrests. But in short, ICE is a cash-strapped agency.
Remember when Donald Trump vowed to unleash deportation hell on America's undocumented immigrants? The promises of mass expulsions and a tidal wave of enforcement felt like red meat thrown to hungry political crowds. But now, just months into Trump's second term, it appears someone forgot to tell ICE, DHS, and Trump's greatest deportation force ever assembled that they're supposed to actually deport people. The shocking truth, straight from DHS and ICE reports, paints a grimly hilarious picture of bureaucratic incompetence. By the end of Trump's first week in office, late January 2025, only around 7,300 deportations had occurred. 2 weeks in, DHS reported just 5,693 individuals sent back to 121 different countries. By mid-March, ICE's cumulative deportation tally barely crawled to about 28,000, a weekly average of roughly 4,000 removals. At this snail's pace, Trump's ICE would struggle to reach even 200,000 deportations in the full year, nowhere close to the promised annihilation scale crackdowns. Let's twist the knife further, shall we? During the Obama years, yes, Barack Hussein Obama, the same guy conservative media framed as soft on immigration, ICE managed to deport approximately 409,000 people in a single peak year, 2012. Trump, despite his fire-breathing rhetoric, never surpassed 260,000 deportations in any year of his first term, and 2025 looks even bleaker. Let that sink in. Obama deported significantly more people annually than Trump, the alleged border hawk. In fact, Trump's best ever year in office, fiscal year 2018, with 337,287 deportations, still fell far short of Obama's peak. Adding insult to injury, the Biden administration, a presidency conservatives dismissed as hopelessly weak on borders, actually hit a decade-high deportation number in fiscal year 2024 with 271,484 removals, 742 per day. Meanwhile, Trump's much-touted ICE agents managed only 693 daily deportations early in 2025, about 6.5% lower than Biden's daily average. Think about that. Trump is losing the deportation race to Biden, the man who Republicans accused of rolling out a red carpet for illegal migrants. Remember Trump's boastful claims on the campaign trail, promising to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants, even suggesting he might somehow deport 15 to 20 million more migrants than actually exist illegally in America? The San Francisco Chronicle pointed out that at Trump's current deportation speed, 4,000 weekly, it would take literally decades to remove just the 11 million people he vowed to target. That's not bold policy. That's political theater of the most laughable kind. Trump's tough guy speeches imply deportations on the order of millions per year. Reality delivered barely 200,000 annually at best. Is Trump secretly playing the long game, deporting migrants by attrition, hoping they'll die of boredom waiting in detention? Even Bush and Obama openly acknowledged that mass removal was impossible. Yet Trump doubled down, promising the impossible, and then spectacularly failing to deliver. How exactly did Trump, the self-styled immigration hardliner, manage to perform so poorly? ICE insiders point to two main factors. First, under Trump's administration, ICE detention times for non-criminal detainees ballooned to an average of 60 days, almost double the 30-day average during Obama's era in 2009. Longer detention doesn't just drain taxpayer dollars, it clogs courts and stalls deportation processes, creating a bottleneck that drastically slows removals. Second, Trump's broad, indiscriminate approach of making virtually every undocumented immigrant a priority for removal ended up overwhelming the system rather than streamlining it. Under Obama, ICE prioritized deportations of recent border crossers, individuals with serious criminal convictions, policies that efficiently churned out removals. Trump's blanket enforcement approach, by contrast, backfired horribly. Courts became hopelessly backlogged as every immigrant, even those with strong community ties and clean records, faced prolonged detention and complicated legal battles. The American Civil Liberties Union sarcastically summed it up by noting Trump's ICE declared open season on all undocumented immigrants, a tactic that ironically reduced the system's overall effectiveness. Notably, the Trump administration began 2025 with public data releases on deportations, but quickly and suspiciously ceased these reports once it became clear how pathetic the numbers were. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, and other senior officials privately expressed frustration and embarrassment at the administration's deportation failures. It seems the tough-on-crime border warriors running Trump's DHS and ICE weren't quite ready to publicly admit that the promised deportation tidal wave had turned into barely a trickle. The administration's sudden radio silence, after realizing they couldn't spin these disappointing numbers into a winning narrative, illustrates just how humiliating the shortfall has been, even for Trump's own officials. Here's the bottom line. Donald Trump's tough immigration rhetoric in 2025 has collapsed spectacularly against reality. He has delivered fewer deportations per year than Barack Obama and even lagged behind Joe Biden's final year numbers. The promises of rapid-fire mass deportations, of removing millions in record time, now seem as credible as an MSNBC poll. Is Trump secretly playing 4D chess, tricking immigrants into complacency by promising tough enforcement, then delivering nothing? Or is he simply another political snake oil salesman who feeds his base red meat but can't deliver the goods? If you're fed up with politicians promising the impossible or just amused at Trump's epic immigration enforcement failure, share your thoughts below. Subscribe to our channel and consider supporting us with a thumbs up. Principles matter far more than empty political promises, because clearly Trump's ICE isn't going to save our sovereignty anytime soon.